My name is Young Kwang Yoo, originally from South Korea, and I'm now living in New Jersey, Fort Lee, New Jersey.
So tell us about your humble beginnings.
Uh, Opera singer in Korea. Actually, my father is pastor, and as you know, in the church there are a lot of opportunities to hear the classical music. So and luckily, my father and my mother really love to listen the opera music, and I got a lot of videos at that age, LD laser disc, about the three tenors and their operas. So it was so familiar to me, the opera music, the classical music. So one day I just singing is just, I can say it was my life. I really love to sing, but I was struggled between the Christian music and the classical music. At that time, one of my colleague who already attended the best school in Seoul, he heard my voice and he said, "Let me introduce you to my teacher." So that's the start point. It's about 23 years ago, 24 years ago. Yep.
And then from there on, how did you perform to bigger crowds or?
Well, so the crowd is just the amount of crowd is just well, I grew up in really one of the biggest church. So singing in front of the big crowd was not a problem for me. Actually, that is really familiar. So as an opera singer, when I was attending the Seoul National University in Korea, I think 20 years ago, I think that was my first opera singing at that point. So well, absolutely, it was the theater has many seats, but yeah.
So tell us about how do you practice your vocals for the people that don't know much about opera singers. How do you go about that your day to day?
The vocal cords are muscles, so it is really similar to a workout, getting our muscle. So I heard that the muscle memory, the longest memorization of our muscle is 48 hours. So it means, well, if when we really try to get the great muscle, we should get we should, how can I say, we should use our muscle in every 48 hours or 24 hours so that the muscle can memorize what we use. So actually that is same. If for now it is okay because I have sung opera like for 20 years. So my muscle is getting used to it.
Right.
So before that, before the singer get their mechanism, we should practice every day and every single day with same technical thing, so that we should have really great teacher to make our mechanism really good. So I personally, when I say this kind of thing in these days, no one trusts me. But at that time, 23 years ago, I got nothing. I got nothing to be a great classical singer. So I practice a lot with my teacher. Among us, 2 hours or 3 hours a day is really great amount of practice time. But I did 8 hours a day, every day with my teacher because I should, getting my vocal cords right, ringing right, and mechanism set, mental set. So 8 hours a day for me. But in these days, just 2 hours, 3 hours a day.
Okay.
Anyway, every day.
What about before your performance? Do you have to drink a specific liquid or?
That's another common question among us. But for me, I think for me nothing actually.
Mhm.
For me nothing, and I have thought like every day we should make our average singing, the quality, the
Mhm.
voice quality. We should make between 80% or 85% every day. If you can do it, just sing when you have to sing at the stage or something like that kind of event. Just sing like when you practice every day, 85, 80%. That is our goal actually. Well, someone, it's kind of like, it depends. It depends on how the singer actually think.
Mhm.
But for me, just do what you have done every day. That's all. And so I don't have any specific. I don't drink specific drinks or I don't have specific food or something like that. Just normally every day.
Got it. Tell us about your performance today.
It was really surprised because, well, even though the singer practiced and mind controls and have thought a lot, even though that we actually never know what kind of audiences we are gonna meet.
Mhm.
But for today, the audiences were perfect for me. They're really active and their reaction was really good,
Mhm.
and I could sing easily and I could contact with them really easily, and I really loved today's performance.
So those songs that you perform today, how long does it usually take that to practice?
Before the opera arias, it is kind of my life because we vocally there are not a lot of operas I can sing. The personal singers can sing because the character in the opera, they are really different. So if the singer can find the character really fits them,
Mhm.
they can sing. They should sing that character entire life. So the Figaro in The Barber, the first song, and the last song, Escamillo in Carmen, those character is just they are my life. I auditioned for in every opera companies, they announced we are gonna do Barber of Seville or the Carmen. I just bring that song to them and sing for them. So it is kind of my life, and since I enjoyed it, always enjoy it. I always sing for it when I practice. I practice something else for some other project, but in my break time, those kind of aria is just my life. To sing.
Yeah, your performance were very outstanding
Thank you.
today. And what about this opera singer? Do you have your own songs that you can come up with? I'm for the people that don't understand opera. So
That is a great question because the biggest and the first obstacle about the opera,
mhm,
among all the people,
mhm,
is the language. It's just that. So I just try to make them. The English translation. Well, first we sing Italian,
mhm.
German, French. Absolutely, we have English, but Russian, that kind of thing. So even though the translation is usable, but it is kind of like old language the translations
Yes.
are. So when I try to introduce the opera to the audiences, I always try to retranslate it with our common words, using just normal world. So I always try to do it, and as I translate it in Korean today, like the Korean song, first Korean song in English today, before especially for the concert, I can talk to them with that kind of situation. I explain what this scene from, what this aria from, and the right translation. Try to find the right translation that can be understood by the audiences. So that kind of trying is just, I think we should do it. We should do that kind of trying, because it's really, the language is just huge obstacle.
I could just imagine. Two more questions. Now, I've interviewed several musicians, also sound engineers. As an opera singer, do you have to make sure those speakers or equipment is up to par, or because today it seems like you didn't really use the speaker because you had so much vocal.
Because the opera singers, their mechanism is aiming for their very natural voice. So in the opera, we never use the microphone. We just sing upon the orchestra music with nothing, just for our voice. So I prefer not to use microphone in front of the microphone, because as you see, we move a lot.
Yes.
Because that songs are not just a song, but should contain the story. So we should move. We should explain what we are doing. So if the microphone can set like the condenser mic, they can have like this kind of area,
Yes.
far from our seeing the stage, that will be really great.
Yeah.
But since the opera theater, the sound wise, they built
Yes.
with a really great, resonance wise, they built like they can, the very backside of audiences should be heard about our voice. So in the opera theater, we don't need to worry about that kind of thing. But that's it. We don't use
All right.
the.
Well, thank you so much for that. The last question is: have you been in South Florida before? Or this is your first time, or
5 months ago, 5 months. Yes,
Oh, okay.
5 months ago,
And-
I did the barber with the Florida Grand Opera.
oh, okay, great. And is this your first interacting with the Asian Advisory Board?
Yes, this is the first time.
So how did you feel? How was
Well-
it? How excited for you?
First, I heard from Master Jeong, we are gonna do this kind of thing, celebrating Korean culture.
Right.
I was surprised and so thankful and so grateful, because among Asian, or many race in the States, but still we can say we are minor,
Right.
and not many people know our abilities still,
Right.
even though we can do a lot of things, and we can do our thing in the major field.
Right.
Still they don't know. I don't think they try to understand it. I don't know about it. But since as an opera singer, Asian opera singer, Korean opera singer, since I can, I worked until this level, I really wanted to, always I want to introduce our culture,
Right.
great culture, languages, and our lifestyles and our thought to all over the world.
Right.
So when I heard the first time, great opportunity. Like, as an Asian, we do this much. We do really well.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for with the Asian Advisory Board, right? For
Yeah, absolutely.
being in the community.
Okay, so welcome, thank you everybody coming here for tonight's Korean Day. So this is certificate of appreciations, the Miami-Dade County Office of the Mayor and Board of County Commissioners, and recognize Young Kwang Yoo, because this is Chinese and Korean difference, okay? As chairman and on behalf of the mayor, the Board of County Commissioners, and the residents of Miami-Dade County, all of you, okay? I take great pleasure in presenting this appreciation to you in recognition of your valuable contribution to our communities. On this, the 9th day of the month of September 2023, in Miami-Dade County, Florida, signed by our chairman, Oliver G. Gilbert III, and Mayor Danielle Lavin Carver.
One more round of applause for Mr. Yoo. Thank you. At this time, let's hand the mic over to Vanessa